Welcome, everybody, to episode 20. Yay, we finally got there with our 3 viewers. Protein.
Hi, so there, I see Jacob and I see Ash. You remember Ash from last week?
Nope.
I see. Remember it was the Pokemon joke, but
right,
Ash.
right. Covering bitches and Ash. Know what I'm saying?
I see. Okay, that's played out.
I was gonna say, are these all people that are watching our show? That's awesome.
Do you not remember Romper Room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember. So there was Romper Room, and there was. Do you remember? It was funny. My wife and I were talking about this the other day. Remember Today's Special?
Yeah.
And I believe, wasn't Today's Special, I think it was filmed in like Montreal or something. Because if I recall, but there was French in there. The show had some French in it.
But you also know that Nickelodeon picked it up in the US.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, it was in that documentary that you should watch. It's fun.
God damn it. But did they go any farther with it, or did they just run the original ones that were in Canada?
I have no idea. I just remember as a kid, that was one of my favorite shows. Along with Elephant Show.
Nope. I had an unhealthy attraction to the woman on Today's Special, which surprised no one. But yeah, so that was the main reason I watched Today's Special.
I had an unhealthy attraction to the rhyming mouse. To this day, small petite women who rhyme get me going.
Yeah. See, for me, it's and it's funny, in all seriousness, I am convinced that. So it has to do a lot with your own family, like the women in your family. I'm convinced that it helps work towards or work against the type of women that you're attracted to.
Yeah.
Or people, men, women, whatever. But I also feel like it's the stuff when you were younger, or even when you're formative years, like when you're a teenager and stuff, the stuff that just you are 100% this like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever seen. That has a lot to do because there's the fetishism stuff and whatnot, and guys that like girls to dress up, and girls that like guys to dress up, and whatever. But I honestly feel like some of the stuff that you watch that just you can remember every single part of it. That forms a little bit of your attraction towards the opposite sex. Like, for Star Wars, ever since, and I say Star Wars because of course, but ever since Jabba the Hutt slave girl, man, Oola, they're called those types of aliens are called Twi'leks. And I've always had a thing now for Twi'leks, and that's why I was so excited when I watched Rebels and Hera, the one who drove the Ghost. She was a Twi'lek, and I was like, oh yeah, this is all for me.
The Mandalorian has one or two.
Yeah, Mandalorian. They show up once or twice.
Wasn't Sasha Banks one of the guards there at the end of the last season? There was the oh god,
not the Luke Skywalker.
Starbuck, wasn't she?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, the Mandalorian. Yep.
And then her secondary was Sasha Banks from WWE.
Oh, was she really? I don't know about wrestling. It's funny. Everybody went crazy. Oh my God, it's Starbuck coming from Battlestar, and I'm like, I didn't like that character on Rebel. Not that I didn't like her, but I didn't care for the character.
I love the actor.
Yeah, the girl playing it, yeah, but Bo-Katan, I didn't. She's great, it's fine, but I don't have.
Did you watch the sci-fi series with Starbuck on?
Yes, I did. Netflix? Yeah, Battlestar Galactica.
No, on Netflix.
I'm sorry,
the original series that they did. No, look it up. I forgot what it's called.
That's helpful.
I'll put it right.
What's that show?
I'll put it on my shirt right now.
But she was very good. She was very good at Starbuck and Battlestar. She was fine as Bo-Katan. I just didn't care too much for Bo-Katan. So on the subject of what we're talking about, what happened to me this week? And then we'll talk about
first of all, plug our socials.
All right. You can find us on, I'm tired of the Grindr joke. It's just, I've driven to the ground and nobody finds it funny anymore. But you can find us on Grindr, Tinder. You can find Netflix Weekly
anywhere. Yeah,
that you can
search for it. If you can't find it, you can always go to netflixweekly.com and look for our links there. It's all I updated. I updated
the fucking YouTube feed to go to our actual show.
Also, I put the Apple podcast on there as well.
Ooh. And what about the Google one?
Fuck Google.
Yeah, you shouldn't fuck Google. You're an Apple fanboy.
I'm a little bit
working on Apple. And I'm about being a fanboy.
I'm still easing in the Mac Mini
ease it in
situation with the wife.
So that's right. You have to ease things in with your wife.
Go on.
Ease it in with the wife.
Speaking of which, garbage.
So I'm going to talk about other things. That's good.
Good segue.
My wife to garbage. What a segue.
Don't tell her anybody.
That'll make her happy. But yeah, so this week has been an interesting week. The first thing that annoyed me, as usual, because things annoy me.
Everything.
Was I saw, so I have that Kingston app on my phone, mainly just to remind me what bins to put out. And I don't have them. I have, the Drink the Kool-Aid government required bins that they make us get. We got them when we moved here. But I have seen people down the street using like Rubbermaid bins or using laundry baskets. Like they're just, if they don't have the bin, they got to fucking something to put their cardboard in. And I guess this has annoyed enough of these useless fucking stooges that collect stuff that they're like, you know what? We already do next to nothing. We already don't do, we do 50.5% of what we should do. Let's go even lower. And, people that may not be able to get to the dump, may not have a car, may not, be able to get these required bins. Fuck you. We don't give a shit. If you have a Rubbermaid bin, go fuck yourself. We're not picking it up. What's that? You get all your stuff in a laundry basket because you don't have a car to be able to get to the dump to pick up one of these stupid fucking bins? Fuck you. We're not picking up your stuff anymore.
Or City Hall.
It's such a bureaucratic choice that, and of course it's a government. Of course it's going to be bureaucracy, but it's such an asshole choice that I had to bring it up on Reddit. And I'm sure there was a bunch of comments about you're an asshole.
Oh yeah.
I didn't check any of them, but I did. That's what I like to do.
You got your ass kicked in.
Oh, I'm sure I did, but all those people that answer can go fuck themselves because it is absolutely a choice of the government that's a prick thing to do to people. And also, what I thought was super funny was, so I have one of my neighbors, the first house on this street. He put out a bag of like the foam, that foam that like monitors and shit come in. And I said to my son, he put it out. We took the dog out for a walk Sunday night. He had it out Sunday night. I said, now, Elliot, that's not going to be picked up tomorrow, even though it's perfectly recyclable. And they say on their website that they're allowed to take it out. He's like, well, why aren't they going to pick it up? I go, because they're assholes. And he goes, I said, so you watch. Tomorrow it's going to be here. And of course, in the morning, we do our morning walk with the dog and evening walk with the dog. Do the morning walk with the dog, and there it is, still there. I'm like, you see? What did I say? He goes, because they're jerks. Because he refuses to swear. He goes, because they're jerks. I'm like, that's right.
Devil's advocate. What do you think the technical aspect of it not being picked up is?
As to why they're not picking up in those things, I'm assuming because they can, and this is complete guess, complete guesswork, that they fall apart. They're like, there could be shit falling. If it's a laundry basket, could be shit falling off.
I'm talking about the foam, like in the bag.
Oh, the foam?
Do you think it's like the type of foam, or do you think it can't be bagged, which would be stupid because you gotta bag it?
I think it's because the paper guys think it's the plastic guy's responsibility. Plastic guys think it's the paper guy's responsibility. Because I put a bag of that foam out twice. I put it out with paper. They didn't pick it up. I'm like, oh, maybe it's plastic. Put it out with plastic. They didn't pick it up. I'm like, oh, you're assholes. So
it's maybe like the confusion that people have with like plastic bags in a bag, which go with what? I don't even know. Like that's supposed to go with cardboard for some reason.
I don't know. I mean, you'd have to check their website and then have that promptly ignored when you put it out at the time.
Anyway, I think the thing you got most in trouble for, not trouble because you don't care, but the thing you got most replied on was the fact that you wished them cancer.
Oh, really? Oh, okay, that's fine.
They were like a little harsh. Maybe you need like therapy or just the coffee, I'm just sitting there reading these things and I'm like, oh boy.
It's funny. That's always been my go-to. I love Henry Rollins. I think he's a terrifically funny man, very inspiring to go see. If if you ever go see Henry Rollins, he's a fantastic guy to watch talk. He's a fantastic guy to watch when he plays for the Rollins band. When he did, doesn't do it anymore. But one of his spoken word albums that I was listening to is he was talking about someone that annoyed him on a flight or something. It's like, I'm looking at this guy and I'm thinking to myself, so many people should just get killed. He says, and I'm like, oh my God. And it made me just laugh fucking hysterically. I'm like, my God, that's funny. And then Bill Hicks, I believe it was Bill Hicks that said that, so many people should just get cancer, which is a, But
if he said that now in front of the wrong audience.
Bill Hicks arguably said everything wrong in front of the wrong audience. Bill Hicks is a fantastically, amazingly good comedian that was, I think, ahead of his time, because he would call out, like, especially the pro-lifer people, he would call out the PMRC, he would call out real things that deserve to be called out. Guys like Bo Burnham and Bill Burr and guys like that are doing this now. But if you've ever seen Dennis Leary, when Dennis Leary was at his top, like the No Cure for Cancer, Dennis Leary, it's what's the right word to say? It's everybody who knew Bill Hicks had the same opinion that Dennis Leary, him and Bill Hicks were good friends. Once Bill Hicks got cancer and effectively died, obviously because he got cancer, Dennis Leary ripped off his entire act, and he really did. If you watch Bill Hicks, and
welcome to comedy, it happens to a lot of people.
But my point is, Bill Hicks was wonderfully funny, but he was honest, and when he fucking hated something, he made sure that you knew he hated it. So I want everybody who reads my stuff on Reddit, I don't read it along with you, so I apologize. I don't know. Phil thankfully reads it for me and then lets me know what everyone thinks of me.
I record a video to him and I do sign language of what is happening. Usually it's everyone going like this to you.
But yeah, I'd like the city to know that I think they're assholes.
God, you could have saved that one. You could have said, I want everyone to know that. I'm kidding mostly.
But I will say,
I don't wish people cancer for real. I'm just joking.
The rainbow, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, the garbage pickup so far has been immaculate. Fantastic. Every time I have a sticker on a bag, they take it. There's been no time where they've left garbage. They never leave garbage. Recycling is a whole different matter. That one is being led by fucking Neanderthals.
So the garbage people, no problems with the body that you had.
That's a good point too. The guys that came and picked up the body, they were like, hey, this body looks like it has cancer. And one guy said to the other guy, maybe it's the guy that does the recycling, because they all deserve cancer, and it looks like this one died of cancer. And then they said, well, you know what, let's take it in the garbage, because we understand that the recycling guys are complete fucking morons, and they'll never take this, despite the fact that it's wrapped in plastic. And they just took it. But yeah, in all seriousness,
I should let you know that
Kingston sucks.
Robb has no air conditioner. He has no air conditioning right now. His brain is really hot right now. So give him a little leeway, just a little bit.
How many people are listening going, come on, cancer? Give him some sort of cancer for being too hot. But yeah, so we have a Google Nest, and it suffered from an error called the W5 error, which I had to do some research on. It's irrecoverable. A lot of people, and I don't know if this is true, but a lot of people, and maybe it's just fucking...
It's a game-ending bug.
Internet assholes like myself said that the W5, it's effectively an update that fries the wireless chip that's in the actual Nest. So it fucks it up completely. Yeah. So it can't get online. And I was like, you know what? That's fine. As long as it keeps on doing its AC stuff, I don't give a fuck. I don't need it to be online in the Nest app. But then I walked by it one day and it was telling me, hey, the time is wrong. I'm like, all right. So I reset the time. And then it started telling me that every day. So I would put the time in and wouldn't care about it. And then finally, the one that kind of broke the straw on camel's back was the AC was clearly off. Like it wasn't running. And I went over to the Nest and I'm looking at it. It says, yeah, your wiring is wrong. Your wiring is misconfigured. So the AC can't run. And I was like, well, that's bullshit, because nothing has fucking changed. So that was the day that I contacted Google. I was like, yeah, this thing's fucked. And they said, okay, great, we'll replace it.
So do you have an electrician who comes and takes it out of the wall, or do you do that yourself?
Oh, no, Yeah, I put it. This is funny. So I put it all. I installed all the Nest myself, wired it and everything, and it didn't work. Now this is back when we first installed it. It didn't work. So we had to call a guy to come in, look at our furnace, and figure out why it didn't work. He literally went downstairs, popped the panel off the furnace. He goes, "Oh yeah, that's wired wrong." And this was the guy that like whoever installed this house in the first place. Yeah, they wired this wrong. He moves this one, literally goes, moves it over to another one, and then everything starts up. I was like, son of a bitch, we got to pay this guy like $300 for that. And all he had to do was move a fucking wire. But yeah, that is honestly a great thing about these Nests. You literally just pull them off the wall, and there's a little piece down at the bottom that's what connects to the plate that's on the wall where all the wires run into. Yeah. But I just pull it off, put it in the box, ship it back to Google, and hopefully the new one's on its way, because then we get a week of fucking record heat wave in Ontario. And
bad timing.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
seriously.
So give him some leeway, people. He's hot.
That's right, and sexy. Don't just think the hot part.
It's funny. It's like the opposite of me, because I'm ugly. No, because I installed 2 air conditioners in the last week. Because I'm in an apartment building, and window air conditioners.
Mansion. But so a guy I work with said, "Why don't you just go buy a Nest from Home Depot, install it, just pull out the wall, put it in, and then when your Nest gets replaced to you," he goes, "Just replace that one."
You could do that
at Home Depot. I could, but I'm like, that's a lot of effort.
They won't care.
Fans.
Home Depot doesn't mind. Well, your luck, you would bring it home, and then the mail would come and boom.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Or they're like, "Oh no, for some fucking stupid reason, now you can't return it." So I'm like, "Fuck it, I'll just suffer."
I don't know. Walmart wouldn't do it either, because there's a number associated to certain electronics, as you know. Like if I buy a computer, they're going to scan that Mac ID or something like that.
Well, yeah, every computer has its own Mac
serial number. They'll scan the serial number and then make sure it's in their system. So I once tried to return something from somewhere else to Walmart, because I used to work there. And
here's Phil ripping off Walmart.
It was a 3DS at the time, or a Switch, one or the other. I returned it, and they said, "Oh, it's not in our system." I'm like,
you said, "Well, I stole it. I mean, bought it from here." So
I'm like, it was given to us as a gift. They could have taken it. I know them. I used to work in customer service. So.
For any younger kids that are here, I did a lot of shoplifting when I was younger. So I can teach you the myriad of different ways to steal shit. I worked for a store that is no longer around called Zellers. I worked there for, I want to say, about 5-6 years.
Honestly, so did I.
Dude, I stole anything that wasn't fucking nailed down at Zellers. I stole it all. From the drum shop that I used to always go to when I was younger. They were called Just Drums. They were called Just Drums, then they changed to Drummer's Choice. Stole a bunch of splashes from there. Splashes are very small symbols. Very easy to steal. You just put them down in the front of your pants or your back of your pants. Did a lot of stealing.
But Rob doesn't need to steal anymore because he's got money.
That's right. Well,
enough.
I still need to steal, but I have a bit of money.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, honorable mention.
I've never stolen in my life. Yeah, honorable mention.
By the way, just a key point in that statement, I worked at Zellers for 2 weeks as a diner cook. Remember when they had the diner?
I did. Yep, we used to steal all the food up there.
I used to. I had 2 weeks because I needed emergency surgery on my knee, and they wouldn't keep me on.
Oh damn!
I didn't care.
So I was on the night when I started with Zellers. I was on the night shift, and we'd raid that. When we would go on break, we would go to the diner where everybody, the dining area. And, at first we'd bring all our lunch, or we'd keep them in the fridge, in the back. And then eventually me and this guy, Scott worked there for longer than I did. And he was like, yeah, just forget that shit. Forget your lunch. Just come with me. And we go to the back and we'd find like the fries, and we'd start them so that and then we'd be checking on them so that they'd be ready like 5-10 minutes before we went to break. So we'd be eating fries.
My God.
We were eating everything, man.
Wow.
It was
and you never got caught.
Never got caught.
Wow.
No, because they had the grease, like the fry grease was there. They would container it by the end of the night.
Yeah, they would turn it off and
they would turn it off, and Yeah, and it would be in a container. So then Scott and I would just put it back in.
Oh my god! And
what
leave it
was
in?
great, no, well, we would, but usually we do that at about like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning because we were off at 7:30. So we do that around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning for the people that were coming in at 8 a.m. or it was either 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. for the morning. And they were like, oh, you guys like, and I'm like, dude, we had nothing to do. We were on break. Like, we just put the grease in for you. They're like, God, oh man, it's so nicey. So nicey. I'm like,
bet.
You dumb fucks.
I would be like that too. I'd be like, oh, great, something I don't have to do. And like, even if you said, yeah, we made fries, I'd be like, oh,
I don't give a fuck.
You did some of my work. I don't care.
It was a fun time.
All right.
But all right, honorable mentions. For me, I only watched really one movie. I've been watching.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I've been watching Katla and King of the Hill, and I've only got 10 shows left at King of the Hill out of 297, I think.
Yeah, the hell.
But I watched Indiana Jones Temple of Doom. So we showed our kids. I got hold of the UHD, ultra high definition 4K version.
I just want to mention to people, if you have a 4K TV, do what you can to watch your favorite movies in 4K. It's still the same, but it looks way better. I love watching like Jurassic Park and Ghostbusters.
I will add on to that though. Don't when they say, hey, it's like up converted to 4K, it doesn't look that great. Get the ones that have been remastered for 4K or filmed in 4K. A lot of new movies are filmed big enough that they'd be able to expand to 4 and 8K. But when you get them, like case in point, this Indiana Jones movie, there's so much detail that you can see. Best example in Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. We showed that to our kids. I can't remember, like near the end of last week, like Friday night. And when they go to the Well of the Souls and they're down there with all the snakes, it is so obvious in several scenes that they are not real snakes, to the point where you can literally see like the bottom lines. Like when you would put a fake snake on the ground, how it's got its top but it's just a flat bottom, and you can see the ridges of it. You can see a lot of that. You can tell a lot is just rubber hose, a lot are garden hoses, and it's great because you can see all that fucking detail. And then when when Indy busts out the side of the Well of Souls and there's Marion surrounded by all those zombies and sees the one with a snake coming out of its mouth, like it's just fucking beautiful. And then we just watched Temple of Doom, which is my honorable mention. And with Temple of Doom, the best part, like the feast. Remember the feast when they've got chilled monkey brains and snake surprise with the same about the eels coming out of it. It looks gorgeous. That whole Pancop Palace is just fucking gorgeous. The ending with all the kids who are in the mines who are mining for treasure. I can't remember what they're mining for now, but they're all down there breaking rocks. You can see everything in those scenes. It looks fantastic. So yeah, and I will. This is one of those movies. I was reading some reviews on it. It's one of those box sets that, if you haven't switched to 4K and you want a reason to, this is the reason to switch to 4K. There's a few movies that this is the reason movies should exist in 4K. It looks fucking beautiful. Indiana
Jones and the Crystal Skull, right?
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I don't like. It's not terrible.
I saw that live and I was just like,
Yeah, my wife and I went and saw it in the theater and we were looking at each other like, what?
Enough with the gophers.
Indiana Jones. And with the worst CG gophers. Just fucking get real gophers. What are you showing CG gophers for?
I was like, why are we in Caddyshack? Like,
oh, for me, the worst was at the end of the movie where he's hugging Marion and he looks at the sky and he looks over at Mutt. What a fucking name for a kid. Looks over at Mutt and says, somewhere your grandfather's laughing at me. I'm like, man, shut the fuck up. Indiana Jones would never fucking say that. The Indiana Jones that we've seen from episodes for the first 3 movies would never, ever fucking say that in any sort of seriousness. Do
you watch the YouTube series or channel Corridor Digital? They have like a lot of stuntmen reacts and VFX artist reacts.
No.
Oh, dude, I have to get you into this. You'd love it.
Really?
Hey, is it? They have like stunt people on the show, or they like look through CG issues and like they take it apart and they discuss it. It's
Nice.
wonderful. I've watched it for a long time now. You have so much to watch. I
totally
I
be
will
down with
link you
that.
to this. You would love it.
Then I'm never going to watch anything because I'm going to be watching that.
They went through Crystal Skull and was like, oh my, like the jungle scene.
Oh,
It's
and it's
such
you know
a
what? It's
bad
funny.
movie. I'm sorry.
But you watch that scene, especially that scene. You watch it, and then you think of Jurassic Park, and you're like, "Hey, dude, that was 2008. Jurassic Park was 1990 fucking three, and the CG looks better in Jurassic Park than it does in this fucking movie."
It looks absolutely awful, and they discussed that. And it's just
okay, cool. Yeah,
I'll link
totally
you to
that'd be
that.
great.
Remind me later because I'll forget.
Oh, I'll fucking I'm gonna forget.
We'll see who remembers first.
That's how you'll be able to know if I watch the show afterwards, because I'll be like, "Oh shit, you were supposed to send me that."
You know, I will send it to you because I edit this show, so I go through the whole show with a fine tooth comb. My honorable mention is Kevin Can Wait.
Kevin Can Wait.
It's new. It's it's a hybrid of like a drama and a sitcom. So they play upon the sitcom trope, and like it's this woman who's living her life like a normal sitcom, like her husband. She has to deal with him. He's like a plumber, or no, he's in cable installation. Excuse me. And she works at like a beer store, but she's wanting a new house because her house is shitty, and whenever she interacts with her husband, we go into sitcom mode. So all her interactions with her husband are all viewed through the lens of a sitcom. And
so is there like a laughing audience and everything?
Yeah, canned audience. Like it's not meant to be like a very good sitcom. Like you know what's going on. Like, and it's actually well done. It looks like a sitcom. And then she'll leave the room, and it's her dealing with life as a drama, and it's actually really good, and it's done on Amazon. It's an Amazon original, I believe. Nice. I hope I'm right on that. I think it's wonderful. She basically learned, I don't want to spoil it. What can I say? She goes through some shit and breaks down.
Spoiled.
And that's the most I'll say about it. But she
now
breaks
there's
down.
No reason for me to watch the show, so I know she breaks down.
It's worth looking at. I think maybe you should check it out this week and tell me your opinion of it.
There's one show that I am dying to fucking watch that I just saw pop up when I was watching Katla. Popped up, when I logged into Netflix, and that is they made a TV show, The Mist, which was
the old one. You've never seen this one?
Not the movie. It looks like a fucking TV show.
This has been around for years.
Really?
Yeah.
Why did it just come up?
I think it was only one or two seasons.
Really? Well,
or it was one season. I think.
Oh shit! You're right. 2017.
Yeah. I watched it.
Fuck.
The movie is much better, but the show is good.
Oh really? Oh shit!
The show's fun.
I just saw it come up, so I was like, "Holy shit! They made a show of The Mist."
Yeah.
Holy fuck! I didn't know that. Well, I'm glad that
it's fun.
That. But the original story. It is the very first story in his probably his. I wrestle with is it the best or is it the second best compilation of short stories, like collection of stories? Night Shift is amazingly good, but The Mist, he kicks open the fucking door with Skeleton Crew. With the story of The Mist, and it is spectacularly good. I remember even as a kid, I had so I read Skeleton Crew, read The Mist. I had an audio book of like a radio play of people doing The Mist. That was fucking awesome. That movie by Frank Darabont was fucking awesome. And so I saw this and I was like, oh my god, I'm all on board for this. The Mist is just. It's a great story. It was a great fucking movie. So I was really looking forward to this. I thought it was brand new.
No, it's good. Did you watch, what is it called? Creatures or something? Or basically the
yeah, it's interesting.
Fuck.
I was gonna say, what are we gonna put on screen to keep people awake?
Kevin Can Wait.
Kevin can wait. All right.
Check it out. It's fun. I also watched. I made the wife watch that new horror flick. Not the new one. The one that came out already. The one that was just in the theater. No, it's a horror movie. You know it.
Horror. That's what I said. A horror movie.
He does. Dallas is a horror movie.
Horror movie.
Horror movie. Oh, okay. A Quiet Place.
Part 2 or the first one?
No, just the first one. I made the wife watch because I loved it, and this is my second time watching it, and it went by a lot faster the second time.
I find it even the first really time quick. I watched that movie, it's a really quick, and I love quick-paced movies because usually quick-paced movies, the majority of them, it means that they have respect for their audience, so they move by fast. If you missed it, that's your fucking problem. You know what I mean? It's the movies like the Transformers that go, well, what are we going to do? We've got the Optimus Prime box. What should we do? Well, the Optimus Prime box does this. Wait a minute. What does the Optimus Prime box do? Well, it does this. Well, we should get rid of it. Well, what do you think? It's like, shut up. Just fucking do something.
Say hi to your mother for me.
I don't understand.
It's what's his name in the most recent Transformers movies? That was in. He was in Infinite.
I saw the Marky Mark.
Yeah.
No, I saw the first one and nope. No, I was like, this stinks. I'm never watching anymore.
So I'm gonna make her watch the second one tomorrow.
That'll be cool. Is it on a VOD yet, or are you guys going to the theater? Or?
It's on.
It's on VOD. You say? Oh, yeah. Good. Yeah, that's okay. Good, great.
Somewhere.
Yeah. So basically, you're watching it the same way that I watched Infinite on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, because paying for
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Without a VPN.
We found a way to watch it properly.
Yeah, we watch it in our Russian house. Russia.
Hey, you know what? If the movie theaters were open, I would have already watched it in the movie theater.
I don't know. I'm of that because I know a lot of people are back and forth, and I'm like, will I go back theater? Can't wait till the theaters are open. I don't know, man.
Certain ones. I want to see Black Widow in the theater. I would love that.
See, I'm still
the Marvel
not
movies.
Sold on that. Boom. I'd like to see because I think of Dune. Like for me, the next big movie is Dune by Denis Villeneuve, and I don't want to see Dune with other people. Even Jurassic World, I don't want to see it with other people. Ghostbusters. But you're going to see it.
I'm so excited.
There's going to be those people that are like, what is this? Why would Egon have a wife and a kid? What's going on? I hate those people.
I completely agree with you. Theater and digital release at the same time would be awesome. I'm just worried about spoilers currently because they don't do that. What's stupid? What Black Widow isn't releasing till 2 weeks? I don't know.
Yeah, it's been delayed.
Fast 9, they don't even have a digital release date yet because how long did they prolong?
What is going to get spoiled about Fast fucking 9?
Cena is probably going to join the crew by the end.
Oh wow, big fucking deal. Okay. He's in the fucking trailers. You know that he's going to be fucking there. It's not like they're hiding him.
We will now move into Katla. Okay, I just want to explain to everyone that Netflix messed with me again.
That's right. Me. Yep. Messed with both of us because I think both of us today we're going to watch it, right?
I swear it said The Ice Road was coming this week, and I can't find it on Netflix.
Well, that's what...
Or last week. Last week.
I was sure that I saw it last week. I mean, all of his fucking Liam Neeson's covers look the same. But I was like, dude, I'm digging this Katla show. I'm going to stay on this show. I don't want to interrupt it with stupid fucking Ice Road because I know it's going to suck. So then this morning, I said, or like midday, I messaged you. I'm looking on Netflix and I'm like, Ice Road. The Ice Road, man? Ice Road? And then there's something with Liam Neeson looking like he's in a parka and a gun, and it's called Unknown, where he wakes up and he's got fucking amnesia or some bullshit. So I messaged you and I'm like, can you find The Ice Road? And you were like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, and then I looked and I was just like, oh my God, they did it to me again. It's Synchronic, now The Ice Road. These are going to be forgotten things that we never cover now. Good luck, Netflix. Maybe you should reach out to us. We'll do you a favor and review them in advance. Just send us copies when you expect to I can only guess that the US got it. The US Netflix got it. and we're getting it a month later for some stupid reason.
Or do you think there's ever a situation where they get it, it's reviewed not super duper bad, not super duper good, just kind of middle of the road, and they're like, hey, you know what? Netflix Canada is like, let's not buy it. It's not worth the money.
No, they already purchased it. They purchased it a long time ago. They even postponed it a couple times for digital release. Okay. Yeah. So it's like, I swear it was on there, but whatever.
Fuck
it. We're just gonna cover Katla, and because we love Katla.
Yep.
Spoiler.
And yeah, I will say so. Right out of the gate with Katla, I know we talked a little bit about it before, but I don't think I've been, oh my God, I've got to see what happens in the next episode like this since what did I bring up to WandaVision? Like, I genuinely, like, holy shit, did not see that coming and don't know where this is going to go. So far with this show, I've only called out one thing that came true, and that's, for me, that's pretty impressive, because I usually, this is where this is going. Oh yeah, this is where this is going. There was only one that I called out so far.
So Robb's only watched up to episode 5.
Right.
We will cover the last 3 episodes. We'll cover the last 3 episodes with something else next week.
Yep.
You can wait till the end of the show, and I'll let you know what that other thing is.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Ice Road 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Isolate.
But I'm really interested to see what you think of the explanation at the end.
I'm nervous. I will say one thing is it's going so well.
It is
that I'm nervous it's going to be. It was all a dream. Like, I don't want to be fucking stupid like that. I hate when fucking shows do that. Shows or movies or whatever. I'm just So I'm super excited, loving the show, but I'm nervous it's going to be bad. But we'll see.
I'm glad that you're loving the show, because I'm not going to spoil anything. They did set it up for season 2.
Did they? Okay. And if it ends on a cliffhanger, that's fine with me. I'm totally fine with cliffhangers.
We'll discuss that next week.
All right. It's funny, I will say my wife fucking passionately hates cliffhangers.
I love them.
I love them, man. And she hates open endings.
So she hated that other show from Germany or
The Dark?
The Dark? Yes, the nuclear one.
She there's been a few movies that she's like, that best example is Inception. We watch Inception, and the fucking top spinning, and then the camera cuts. And she's like, well, is he fucking awake or not? I'm like, oh.
Interpretation.
Well, fuck, how do you know?
That's different.
It's funny. Every time I see me, I'm like, who fucking cares? What's it matter? The movie told the story it wanted to tell. What happens afterwards doesn't fucking matter.
So she's not okay with cliffhangers and interpretation? Like, your interpretation of the ending?
Yep. She wants to be told with the bow tie, here's exactly what fucking happened. And I'm like, dude, I'm fine with movies like that, but I'd much rather it's totally oh my goodness, where it's totally what's the word I'm looking for? Totally open for interpretation.
Well, if they would have done that with that pod one, the pod in space, where the crappy ending.
Shit. Oh Christ.
You're the person.
Oxygen.
There we go.
Oxygen.
If they would have done an interpretation ending, I would have been way better. I would have been fine. I told you last time, it could have just ended at a certain spot and we'd be done. Interpretation.
Yep.
But
yeah, exactly. If she just, I'm dead.
Instead of it being a freaking Carlton card.
Right.
Sorry, for those in the US, Hallmark.
Is it? Are we Carlton or are we Hallmark?
We have Carlton and Hallmark, I think. I think it depends on where you get it.
I thought it was the other way around, where they have Carlton.
I don't know if they have Carlton. I know they have Hallmark. Because they have Hallmark movies.
Yeah, so do we, though. We can watch Hallmark movies.
It's probably because they're brought over.
Whatever.
Across the sea from US to Canada. Katla.
So, yeah, Katla is not from America. And you know what? Icelandic. That is, oh man, that is the best fucking part of it is, no hating on America. You can make this movie in Canada either. It is just a different an absolute different sensibility than we were used to.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird, and the people are very. I think it has to do with the Icelandic. I think the people and the language go hand in hand. And what I mean by that is their language and what they say is very definitive. There's no room for misinterpretation in what they say. And for me, the best example is just in, we'll get into it. This is from episode 5, the episode I just watched, where she's looking at, well, you know what? I'll remember it because I really liked it. Let's get into all these shows first. So what Katla is, it's a huge mountain over in Iceland. It erupted, I believe, about a year ago, and they're still evacuating
people around from the surrounding area.
Sorry, glacier.
We've gone through this already. What the hell do you how a volcano is erupting?
We didn't remember, or we couldn't figure out why it was a volcano that was erupting as a glacier or some shit.
I don't know. I didn't look into it.
The point is, I think a volcano that's blowing ash all over everything. Blowing ash.
Yeah. There's the joke.
Yep. And so the show is set up that there's all these people that are still around it. That one guy has a farm. Him and his wife have a farm. Her sister's one of the women that went missing a year ago when they tried to rescue some tourists off of Katla as it was erupting. Basically, one cop and his wife, who is severely, she's very feeble, she's disabled, so she can't fucking get up and move anywhere. So there's one lady that runs a hotel. So just the last hangers on around the area. And you're basically meeting these people, learning about these people. And then at the very end of the show, there's a lady that comes walking down. She's stark naked, covered in ash. And they're like, who the fuck is this? This is fucked up. So and that's basically the end of the first show. And then the second show, and I'm just going to go back to the synopsis for the second show to make sure I remember
This show is a lot like Dark, where they have some interweaving labs that you kind of get. You really get it's easy by the end because you've seen the same characters over and over again.
And it similar to Dark, some of the directions it goes in with characters is a bit of a mind fuck. So when they introduce new people, to remember who they are in relation to who other people are, I found that constantly something I needed to keep in mind. So,
well, the problem with Dark is that you had 43 actors, whereas this one has 50. Yeah.
Also, in Dark, another fucking hard part was this guy in the future, and this guy was this guy in the future, but he had come from the past. For it, holy fucking shit, man! That TV show pulled your head apart.
That was Game of Thrones level of trying to keep track
of people. And not to mention, I'm listening to that book right now as an audiobook while I work on my puzzle, and holy Christ, I forgot how many characters. And it's just the first book. The second and third book introduced way more people. And then the fourth one is a tax return. But I forgot how many people are in Game of Thrones. But
Katla's easier. Second
one starts up with, they discovered this woman, and she says her name is Grunhild, and I can't remember her last name, but Grunhild is her name. And she went up to, now this, she says she went up with Tote, or I can't remember the way that you pronounce the father's name. She went up with Tote, who was the father of the girl who her and her husband own a farm there, and this is the girl whose sister disappeared. They went up, she went up with him 20 years ago, and she's just coming back now. And everything else, of course, is aged 20 years. But she's just coming down now. She goes, yeah, I went up there with Tote yesterday. And they're like, okay. And then the Tote guy comes in and looks at her. He's like, yep, I'm not talking about this. He never fucking asked me about it. Yeah, he freaks out. He's like, never ask me about this again. And so I was like, huh. So you're like, okay, that's weird. There's certainly something weird there. And then the best part that I really liked a lot, this is how I knew, I'm like, all right, this is definitely a show for me. They find, I think she's in Sweden, I believe. They find a Brumhild or Grunhild Johnson or whatever her name is.
Yeah, we talked about this last week when we were.
Yeah, she calls her. Yep, she calls herself. And she discovered her sister Asha. Asha came in and was covered in ash, just like Grunhild was, and that's the end of show number 2.
Asha, yeah. The other guy was Tor.
Tor, yeah. Well, what's frustrating is there's a Thor that was discussed that I believe he's left, and Tor. So that was very irritating with the names. But so with oh my goodness, show number 3. This is show number 3 started off, and I wonder if you could.
We're missing a lot of stuff. Just letting you know.
But
I'm letting the audience know. Like, there's a lot of filler. There's a lot of character building. There's a lot of introduction of characters, which don't overlook the introduction of all the characters, because they will be reused over and over again.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's for me, there are the key things that I really grabbed onto that I was like, man, this is the part of the story I really want to know where it goes. With season episode, Jesus Christ, episode 3, it starts with 2 young girls running around in their house, and it looks like their mother is just kind of annoyed by them. Yeah, it took me a while to figure it out. I believe it was until episode 4, maybe the end of episode 3 I figured out, but I believe that's I called her Asha and her sister
Grima,
that's her name, and that was their mother, and she's very depressed. We don't know why she's very depressed, but I believe it's probably because she found out that her husband was banging that Grunhild lady,
as we find out later.
That's why she was very sad, and she effectively commits suicide.
Her husband is Tor.
That's right, and she's the mother of Grima and Asa. So there was that opening, and we that was a flashback to the girls. And then what I really liked was the one thing about the show, we talk about the show's got great characters and whatnot, but visually this show is incredible to look at, especially again on a nice big 4K screen. Even if we just got like a 1920 by 1080, it's a beautiful film to look at. It's very dark. It's very gray.
It's so interesting that their setting is it's got to be a volcano there.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, if it wasn't, and they did all that in special effects and stuff, color me amazed.
That's like Oscar worthy, right? But like even the scenes when she's walking out to the water, like remember there's the start where the mother is walking out just into the water. Maybe she walked in the water and killed herself. I don't know how you kill yourself that way, but whatever. Like it's gorgeous. Just the color palette is just incredible. There's no bright colors. Everything's very muted. Just looks fantastic.
Excuse me.
And so what I liked was he goes out, Grima's husband goes out, Einir, I think his name is Einir, something like that. Very Icelandic name, so I'm never going to figure it out. But one of the cows got sick and was...
Einar or Einer.
But the cow got sick and was... milking like polluted milk or milk that's got something wrong with it. So he had to kill the cow by cutting its throat.
And
so he goes out.
Asa's husband, yeah.
But there's a wonderful scene where he's just looking at it, and it's laying on this gray and black ash. It's a black cow with its throat cut and then blood running out of its the cut in its neck. And that sounds like a gross thing to say, but you look at it and it's an incredible fucking image. It's like, it really looks like all the life of this town is being drained out of it. That's the first visual that comes into your mind when you're watching it. And I was like,
and that was because he escaped and ate something.
Yeah, and that was going to pollute
some of the ash or something. Yeah,
something like that. Ate something that's going to pollute. That's going to pollute the milk. I remember them talking about they can't have it pollute the milk.
It was just like, I killed him.
Yeah, but it's such a good fucking visual. I can't say enough about the visuals of this show. There's a great scene when Grima's in her bathtub and she fucking leans forward and she's holding her arms under the bathtub, and it's the shot is like from high up looking down to the bathtub. But the bathtub is very milky watercolor because the rest of the room is this dark gray, and it's such an arresting image, man. It's great. I can't say enough good things about it. But there's one guy that goes on site, and this is where episode 3. This is where I messaged you and said, all right, I might have an idea what's going on. So this guy, he's talking to his wife before he's leaving. He's like, I got to go to Katla. She's like, we got to talk about our divorce. You got to sign some papers, some shit. He's like, I'll do it when I get back. And she says, look, we got to build our kid's headstone. It's been 3 goddamn years. He's like, fuck it. I'll deal with it when I get back. And when he goes and when he's working with the other people at Katla, you'll notice his laptop is open and there's a picture of his son, his dead son. Clearly not dead, but a picture of his son when his son was alive. And when he's turned and he's talking to people in profile, and you can constantly see that laptop screen. And I was thinking to myself, there's a reason they're showing that, either, and it could be two reasons. And I decided to give it the benefit of the doubt, and it was the smart person reason. Smart person reason is that kid, you're going to see someone that looks like that kid, or whatever is bringing these people to life, or whatever you want to call it, is going to see that and bring that person to this guy. He wants it. It's clearly something it needs. Whatever this thing is, it's taking the form of people who are dead. That's who it's going to take. You know what I mean? It's going to take that kid. The stupid way of doing that is, hey, there's a kid. See that kid? Look at that kid. This guy's got a kid. Look at that kid. Remember that kid. That guy's got a kid. That's the stupid one, the one that's got to bang you over the head with a fucking hammer. So I chose that it's the smart person.
What's the difference of what these two things are?
The one is something else. That's what they only have a quick look at it. Something else is seeing that kid and is like, okay, I don't know if this thing is an otherworldly thing, if it's whatever, but that's the form it's going to take because it knows it can get to that guy. And the stupid person is, hey, remember this is a guy that said he had a dead kid? Look, there's a kid. Remember that kid? That's the guy with the dead kid. You remember that? And then at the end of the show, when the kid comes back, remember, that's the guy. Remember dead kid? That's the guy. Like, it's just a constant fucking reminder. It's like those Transformers movies when it's like, hey, Marky Mark, do you have a daughter? Yeah, I got a daughter. Hey, Marky Mark, is that your daughter? Yeah, that's my daughter. Me and my daughter are going to go somewhere. Hey, you, that's my daughter. Stop hitting my daughter. Like, stop saying that. And I know that just by the commercials. I never saw that fucking Transformers movie. I know that only from the goddamn commercials. But I digress. I love that this boy shows up. And so episode 4 is the father, Dari is his name, excuse me, is cleaning his son off, and he's asking him questions. And one question that I love that he gets to, he says, have you ever had any pets? He goes, yeah.
Testing him.
Yeah, he goes, what? And yeah, exactly. He wants to see if he remembers this shit, because this guy's son has been dead for 3 years.
Exactly.
Looks exactly like his son and hasn't aged 3 years.
You're trying to rationalize the situation.
And I thought that was so cool because he's like a scientist, and his first instinct is doubt. His first instinct is prove what it isn't so he can prove what it is. And he is certain it is not his son, right? And
but it couldn't be a miracle. It has to be scientifically proven.
And I love that he didn't jump on board with, oh my God, it's a miracle. He jumped on board with, this is not my son. I've got to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
But so the question he asked his son is, did you ever have a pet? Kid says, yep. So what'd you have? A bird? A bird, parrot? What happened to your parrot? Or did you like your parrot? Yeah, he was all right. But what happened to him? He died. How did he die? I cut his wings off with scissors. And he's like, huh? And I love that the father doesn't react. The father's just like, well, okay. Because I guess the kid fucking really did this. But what's great is the kid has no emotional reaction to it. He just says it very matter-of-factly, very sociopathic.
The interesting thing with this and the other things that he's tested on is that they are rational thought. There's rational thought to what he's done in the past, this kid. If you want to get into that, I don't know how far it got in the episodes you've seen, but because everything's a blur to me. but did you hear about the school yet?
Not that I recall, no.
Okay, so as for the bird, there was a rational reason, even though it's an irrational response, there's still rational reason to everything the kid does. Mm-hmm. So like there's a difference between reason and response, like how you react to the reason.
Okay.
So like I forgot what the bird like, was it the bird ran away or tried to fly away or something? Was it
it might have. It might have been something like that.
There was some
specifics about that
reason that he did it that made sense
to him in his 9-year-old brain.
A reactionary thing, like a proper reaction would be make sure the cage is set or get a cage or whatever. His brain went immediately to, I'm just going to cut the wings off. That makes sense.
Yeah, so it can't fly away. Yep.
So there are other things that come up same exact idea. It's a rational thought process, but not in terms of the reaction, like his physical reaction, what he decides to do about it, the solution.
Okay. But so
I just find that interesting because they could have just said, they could have made him like completely off the wall, you know?
Yeah,
there was actually something to love there.
Yeah. And that was what's, and that's what I was getting to with the mother. So he contacts his mother, the kid contacts his mother and says, "Mom, come get me. I don't like being here with his dad." So she shows up, and of course, the mother, she's a bit more, she's not a scientist, so she's reacting to this from the way I imagine any mother would, like, "Oh my God, my son is alive." And she says to the husband, "I don't care where he came from. This is my son, and I love him, and I'm going to take care of him, not lose him again. We've been given a second chance. You know, you don't see what kind of a gift this is." And he's like, "It's not our fucking son. You know, why can't you get that through your head?" And I love it that she's looking at it from the perspective of, like, you as a parent, or even as a parent, as anyone that's ever loved somebody else, you can totally see both sides of the coin. Like, I don't think that's fucking who it is, because that the person you knew is dead.
It couldn't be, yeah.
Yeah, and then the mother is like, "Yeah, but it's an exact fucking replica. All of his fucking memories are there. Everything about him is there. I'm going to pretend it's him." And so Dari decides, like, yeah, this isn't him. So he takes it back to a room, and he effectively locks him in a room, and that's what the kid calls his mom. And then when the mom shows up, she takes him to the hotel. They go to the hotel, and they're staying at the hotel. And the father and the mother are talking.
Well, there was more to that, because he locked them in a shed, an electrical shed.
Oh, right. Yep.
And he figured out he found a box cutter type thing, and he sliced the wires to turn off all the power, and which got someone's attention. And the father's trying to hide his son. No one knows that his son's there yet. And then the kid escapes somehow through a floorboard.
Yep. And it wasn't, when you say somehow, it's not like it was like just this convenient thing that happens. Like, everything in the show makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
You know, everything that happens follows the rules of logic.
Well, and this was a great moment, because somebody came to fix the power and go into the shed, and he's like, "Oh shit, I'm going to be found out. Like, how do I just figure this one out?" And the guy goes in and is like, "Oh my gosh, someone like cut the power. Like, this doesn't make sense." But the kid's nowhere to be found, and the guy has no idea there was a kid there the whole time. They just think someone's being an asshole. And then the father's just like, "Thank goodness, but where's my kid?" Or my kid.
Yeah. And I love that. So, and that box cutter comes in as a plot point later on. He's held on to that box cutter, and immediately, you know, the vibe that I got about the game, especially after the scene where he cut the power, is this kid is methodical. You know what I mean? Like, he's intelligent, and even if it is a kid, like, you don't know really what it is, but this kid is sociopathically methodical. You know what I mean? He there's no emotion to him. I feel like he's totally faking. That's where I was like, when he says, like, "Mom, I love you so much. I don't want to be with Dad anymore. I hate Dad. I don't want to be with him." I saw that all as emotional manipulation of the mother. And so I was looking at it like, yeah, this kid is definitely up to something, which I liked a lot.
I can't say too much.
Okay, then I'll skip to the next part that I thought was so fucking cool. So I can't remember the exact reason why, but Asa, who is the girl who was discovered, Grima's sister, who they discovered after a year, she's kind of she's got like a lot of wanderlust, it seems. She just kind of goes places, right? She just kind of wanders around, wanders here, and Grima's like, "Where the fuck did you go, man? Don't leave. I don't want to lose you again." And she wanders to this area where it's a shed that you can get under the shed. And I can't remember the specifics of why they went to this area, but I know Asa went there, and then Grima went to find her there. And then they're looking under this shed, and they're like, "There's something fucking there." And she's holding the light on, and she's like, "I can't figure out what it is." So they crawl under the shed, and then Asa, like, "Holy fuck," jumps away. And then Grima goes under, and they look at it, and they show that it's a dead woman who's been there, quite a while. So, and that's how that episode 4 ends. So here I got to episode 5, and episode 5 so far is fantastic. And here's what I really liked about episode 5 is Grima is talking. Asa is not as disturbed by this dead body as Grima is. Asa's like, yeah, fucking dead. What are you gonna do, man? But Grima's like looking at the body and is like, dude, I'm pretty sure that's fucking Asa. And then she's looking at Asa. She's like, I don't think that's fucking my sister. So she becomes very untrusting of her. And Asa doesn't know what's going on. Asa, I feel like, is just this kind of whatever this creature is, whatever it is, just kind of came back. It doesn't understand unless she's playing her for the fool. And if she is, she's playing me for the fool too, because I'm not seeing it that way. Grima sits down with the cop to give a statement. And I love this cop. He shows her the picture and says, does she look familiar? The picture of the dead woman, I should say. He shows her the picture of the dead woman. Does she look familiar to you? And she's like, I don't want to talk about it. He's like, look closer. Does she look familiar to you? Does she look like anybody you might know? She goes, yeah, she looks like fucking Asa. And I love how he goes, yeah, she kind of does look like Asa. Like he knew that was a fucking answer that he wanted, but he wanted her to admit it. And I think he knew.
I don't know about that.
That's the vibe I got just from that scene when he's sitting down with her. He's looking and he's like, yeah, maybe.
I think no. I think like this doesn't spoil anything, but I think that cop guy, the police officer, knew nothing.
Doesn't know anything.
Nothing. Okay. I think the point was that he was like trying to get an answer out of her, and he's like very suspicious of her, but was like, how would you know there was a body here? I'm trying to get that answer. And when she finally says it, he looks at it and is like, oh, yeah. That does
really?
look
okay,
like
her. Yeah. And
at least that's what I got from it at the time.
That it definitely could be that as well. But it's starting to get to an area where everybody's becoming suspicious of each other. And I think that has a lot to do with like just the way that these actors played their roles. Like they're very, I'd say only 2 people have really loud emotions. Everybody else is very monotone and very calm, and they're never over the top. Like Einar's never over the top, Cop's never over the top, Father's never over the top. That was interesting to watch, and I feel like that's a cultural thing. I don't know if you'd see a Western movie like that.
It's probably also, this is part of cultural, but the civil, like there's no civilization there. It's like there's 15 people that live in this town, and like like everything goes at a snail's pace because it's such a small town with such limited resources. You're just like, if you need a car, they all share cars.
Yep. Just keep the key on the wheel, or keep the key in the car. She says, yeah.
Exactly. It's like if there's one hotel that gets a lot of service in this season.
That she never apparently gets paid, but whatever. What's she gonna get paid for?
She does get paid at some point, but by Grunhild, older Grunhild. So
okay. So that saying older Grunhild, this is what brings me to I think my favorite part and where you would never find this in American or Canadian, like Western movies. So younger Grunhild, this lady that they discovered is younger Grunhild, and nobody is outright saying it, but everybody thinks it, that older Grunhild and younger Grunhild, they are the same person, right? But nobody is outright saying it, which I really like.
A lot of people were at first like, they
must just be related.
They didn't think it. Yeah, related was the biggest thing. Like that seems to be the first thing people gravitate to in this series. And but then, I love, it changes.
Well, yeah, young Grunhild, she wants to start banging Tor again, even though Tor is 20 years older. She doesn't see that, and I don't know what's going on there, but she does not see that he's 20 years older, because he asked her, he goes, "Don't I look 20 years older?" And she's like, "No, I still just see you." And I'm like,
that's the weird thing with all the iterations of whoever, is that they don't see it at first. They have to be clued in.
Yep. Yep, and I like that because it's got to be important if they've got to be clued into it. So what happens is older Grunhild shows up and she's enjoying talking to Tor, and you find out that younger Grunhild is pregnant. She knows it's Tor's son, and of course we saw older Grunhild's son at the start of the show, leading you to believe that boy that had some sort of cerebral palsy or muscular dystrophy is Tor's son. Now, I don't know that for sure, but that's what they're leading you down the avenue to believe.
Yeah.
And what I really liked is Tor, younger Grunhild, older Grunhild are there. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing here? She's like, I come here whenever I want. And she says to Tor, like, you're letting her stay here? He goes, she doesn't have anywhere else to go. And then he goes, you two must realize that you're the same person. He goes, do you not get that? You are the same person. You are both Grunhild. And I fucking loved how he's just so definitive. There's no analogy. There's no he doesn't try to misconstrue anything. He just says fucking point blank and bluntly, you are the same person. Do you not understand that? And I was like, this is great. Like this, I just fucking love that. And I think that's a cultural difference where this language, I feel like this acting, this area there, no time to fuck around. You know what I mean? There's no time to fucking jump hoops. There's no time to have a whole fucking soliloquy about something. Just say what you fucking mean. And all these people come off like that. There's no room for anybody to dance around subjects. They all just fucking say it.
I'm guessing you watched with subtitles.
I did. Yeah, I watched with subtitles.
With their original language, right?
Yeah, that's how I prefer to watch.
The audio dub in this one was bad.
Was it? Okay.
It was okay, but it wasn't coming off of like the audio dub in Oxygen, which was amazing. Yeah. This was back to like almost, well, I would probably say
like an anime or like fucking old Japanese movie dubbing.
Oh
yeah, that one.
The series we just mentioned, it from the nuclear thing.
Oh, Dark.
Yeah, like they were okay as well. It's just like, yeah, I'd love them to work on the English audio dub a little bit better.
I think we discussed this before. Why I watched so many Akira Kurosawa movies and all those little Japanese movies. I love watching them with the original audio and reading it. But so as far as I got was
cliffhanger.
No, I didn't get to the cliffhanger yet. What I got to was Derry calls the cops and says, there's a boy here, but I don't know who he is. The cops come to the hotel. His wife, Rachel, but with a K. Rachel takes the boy and they take off. You don't know where they're going, but and that's when the boy says, I don't want Dad in our lives anymore because I hate him. And she says, well, don't say that. That's really severe. Like, don't say you hate. Just, he's not here right now.
You must have had 10 minutes left.
That's what it was. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. But then the camera pans down and you can see the kid's holding the box cutter. And that's where I had to pause it because it was we start
10 minutes.
We
that
started cliffhanger. But at that time it was 6:26. I'm like, fuck. All right.
The cliffhanger is the best one in the season for this episode.
Damn, now you fucking tell me this. Kind of a bitch.
You could have waited.
I could have. It was 6:26. I'm like, fuck. If you had known that's what I was watching.
Turn it on right now. We'll watch it on the show. No,
it was just me.
Yeah, when you'll it's gonna get better.
Okay, good. But yeah, I'm off the backs of a lot of shit, but then some of the stuff that was just kind of you know what I mean, like just kind of mediocre, like Sweet Tooth for me. I'm like, it's mediocre. Katla is really got my attention. Really fabulous show. It's I've really been enjoying it.
I love it. I have more to say about it, but I can't yet.
You know what? Now I'm not going to text you at all through the week. So you're like, motherfucker, text me so I can say something.
Well, we'll discuss the final 3 episodes next week. But I up until episode 5, I'll tell you what I think of it after episode 5. But I keep going back and forth on thoughts about it. It's really good. It's worth watching for sure. Like, watch it.
And also, like, it's not like you need to dedicate. I think Dark was 3 or 4 seasons, so you don't have to dedicate a huge amount of time to it. It's only so far 1 season of 8 shows.
Yeah.
And the shows are about like between 40 and 50 minutes long.
It does have a little bit of a slow pace because of its setting, because of everything, but it's worth watching. Like just the good actors, bad audio. I don't know what it is. Like if they get the original actors to speak English, or if they just have a thing where they're like, if we get English people, we have to get like, what is it from? Where are they from? Norwegian? No.
Icelandic.
Maybe they feel like they have to get Icelandic voice actors so that they have the accent. But they get like really bad people. Like they're not that great.
I don't think they get Icelandic actors. I think they get Americans or whoever they're coming from, Americans, Canadians, whatever. And they're like, okay, here's your dialogue. Say it with an Icelandic accent. You know what I mean? Like I feel like
I don't think
no.
I don't think I think it's more likely that they would get Icelandic or someone Norwegian, like that, a Swedish, like something in there. Right. I'm sure they have plenty of people to choose from that can speak English, but I think it's just they're just picking up people like, oh, you're an actor, you're a voice actor that can speak English, great, just come on in and we'll do it, instead of really like auditioning them and making sure they can represent those roles
or the emotion of the actor as they're delivering the line. Yeah. Again, that's it for me. That's another reason absolutely to watch it with the original audio, because there's so much lost when you don't hear the intonations or the like the reflections on the different shit they're saying. Even if you don't understand it, when someone's like, oh my God, and they're saying that in a different language, you know the emotion they're trying to convey when they say it. And for me, the best example this time was Dari talking to his wife and trying to convince his wife, like, dude, this is not our fucking son. Like, and the audio, he's very abrupt and and that's what I mean by I like about this language, that this language leaves no room for misinterpretation. He just outright says to her, this is not our son. Our son was dead. Remember, his fucking brains were splattered all over the street. It's very severe with how he talks. And I feel like I missed that with the audio dub.
Yeah, I just feel like there's more to be desired there. It's very basic. It's very like good to bad voice acting in video games.
Okay.
It's just like some of it was delivered in a I know they're monotone in a way, but it's like I'm just phoning it in, you know?
And maybe also it's very jealousy inducing to see these people change from, and I forgive me, I believe it's Icelandic is the name of the language, like the language they're speaking, but I don't know. To swap between Icelandic and English so easily. Because as someone who knows,
there was some English in it, wasn't there?
Yeah. The people who come from Sweden speak to each other in Swedish, but when they're in Iceland, they'll speak to people from Iceland in English. But then when the Grunhilds show up, those two, of course, they both speak.
It's Swedish, like the only common language.
Yeah, they speak Swedish to each other.
It's just so interesting. Like when I saw, you kind of your mind gets jolted because you're like you're seeing the different talking, and then when it goes English to English talking, like dub to English talking, I'm just like, what? Whoa!
Did my audio fuck up?
Yeah, well, I was just like it's matching.
What the hell? Well, I got friends who can do that, who they can jump between the languages. Like our neighbor, she's Portuguese, so she does that. She'll be talking to Portuguese and swap to English and swap to Portuguese. And I'm always amazed by people who can do that, and I feel like I'll never in my life ever be able to do that.
Yeah, I've done it with French, but I like the conversations you would have in Ottawa. That's where I lived for 27 years. Knowing French helped me in customer service in a lot of places. And a lot of the times in Ottawa, you would get a thing where I would speak English, they would speak French, but we understood each other.
Oh, really?
And you would just conversate that way. And it's just like, after the fact, you think about it and you're like, mind blown. Like it was great that we could have that conversation, but we felt comfortable in our own language and someone understood us. That's great.
Yeah, I'd love to learn French, but I don't see that happening anytime soon because I feel bad whenever I have spoken French. I feel like I butcher the language apart. I think I'm more well suited for like German or Russian because I've got like type of language.
I suck at it now. I did French immersion for 7 years, and but when I went to grade 8, I went to core English, normal
Crap
English.
public.
Yeah, and well, I that was one of the best decisions my parents made for me. So, and I was happy about it.
I disagree because a couple times I've had to go fix shit in Montreal, and I've had to fix stuff around Montreal. And my God, the women in Montreal are gorgeous. And I know I'm a pervert and whatnot, but they are the way they dress, the way they act, gorgeous. Yeah. And I was like, man, I love going to Montreal.
They have like that Paris meets Canada vibe. Yeah,
they really do. Like, and honestly, my favorite thing was like they wear like scarves and ascots and shit, and they still accentuate it with like a lot of cleavage and amazing. You know, and you know, yeah, I'm a pervert and I like seeing boobs and whatnot, but just they are gorgeous women. Like the way they've really put the effort. Even the men, like they're very handsome people over Montreal.
So Katla,
wonderful movie.
Show.
I'm sorry. Highly recommended. Thumbs up. I'm not gonna hear anything about fucking Rotten Tomatoes or anything until I'm done watching the fucking show.
For the 3 people that keep watching and haven't watched Katla, go watch Katla because we're gonna watch. We're gonna talk about 6, 7, and 8. Episodes 6, 7, and 8 next week. Yeah, there's nothing more to talk about with Katla, right?
Nope.
So we bring up my stuff. I switched it to the show stuff. Anyway.
Except the nudity, because the nudity is great.
This week sucks. To be honest. There's like...
Agreed. I got no goddamn fucking air conditioning. Of course it sucks. My fucking glasses are sliding down my face. I feel all grimy and shit. Fucking sucks.
I put together an entertainment system today. So,
lucky.
Let me explain to people that when we hit the first of each month, Netflix more so puts out a bunch of movies, like the 1st of July, the 1st of June, the 1st of everything. It's just movies, just licensed movies that they've licensed for playing on Netflix. It's not their own stuff, or stuff they bring back because there's a constant cycle. So what I like to do is put reviews of things that are Netflix paid for, created. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Because if we do like Billy Madison on July 1st, it's not a Netflix thing, you know? Like, you know my point though. It was just an example to drive you crazy. You're like, don't do that. Nothing. Okay. So I think we'll see how this goes, but Dynasty Warriors. This is we might like it. Dynasty Warriors.
I feel like it's a show. It sounds like a cross between Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers and Mortal Kombat.
I think it's a license. I think it's a license, like a made. I'm not even sure if it's movie or TV, but I think it's licensed from the video game Dynasty Warriors.
Oh, okay.
Which is
like a battle one.
A battle one. Yeah, they're like fighting loads of people. Like it's like Devil May Cry type thing. It's like you just like constantly bombarded with enemies, and you just have to like. It's a beat 'em up. So I think they licensed that. It might be from Asia, brought over.
Dynasty Warriors. Okay.
So we're gonna watch it and cringe or love it.
Oh, I'm certain I'm not gonna love it, but we'll see.
The week after that, we'll have some better stuff.
Fast Furious. I'm also gonna watch, because we've been talking about Fast and Furious 9. I have never watched any of the Fast and the Furious movies.
You get started.
I think I might have watched one. But I'm pretty sure I didn't.
Do you want to add Fast and Furious 1 to next week's episode, or are you going to do a bunch?
Well, no, I can do Fast. I can't. Well, you know what? I'll see if I like the first one so much that I'm like, I've got to watch the next one. Yeah, I can.
Oh, you're in for fun. Just don't give up after 2.
What the fuck is the other thing? Jungu Dynasty? What's the other thing called? Dynasty Warriors.
Dynasty Warriors, yeah. You know, we don't have to do Dynasty Warriors. We can focus on Fast and Furious. I'm sure people will love that.
I'd rather do that.
Okay.
Because I've never seen them. So for someone, when there's been fucking 9 and I've never seen one, I'm sure.
I'm not going to cut all that out. Who cares?
Sure
people love this.
And a half will be fascinated.
So how about we do 1 and 2?
Okay, Fast and Furious 1 and 2.
1 and 2. So Fast and Furious 1, the first original, the thing that kicked off everything, and Fast and Furious 2, which is I believe it's Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Drift, yeah, that's because I know.
I think must see.
Isn't it? It's Fast and Furious. Let's see if I know this. Fast and Furious. I think it's just Fast and Furious 2. No, Fast and Furious 2 is Tokyo Drift, and then it's just Fast and Furious 3. No, I'm sorry. Fast and Furious, and then I believe the second one is called Too Fast, Too Furious.
Oh, maybe. What's Tokyo? Right? What's Tokyo Drift then? Is that 3 or 4?
Or is it?
I'm gonna bring them up.
4 Furious. All right, don't tell me though, because I want to fucking find out when I watch it and be like, oh my god, this is shit. But yeah, Fast and Furious. I did it again. Too Fast, Too Furious.
I keep thinking Final Fantasy whenever.
Too Fast, Too Furious, Fast and Furious 3. I know the 4th one had to be something because it was directed by John Singleton. That I know. And the reason I remember that is it came out, I saw it on CNN or something, that it was the largest opening for a black director ever.
People are probably just pissed at us for not knowing this stuff.
Oh, fuck those people. They're the same people that are fucking probably working Kingston's recycling.
So you don't want to know?
Nope, I'll find out when I watch it.
Oh, okay.
But hold on, I gotta know. Is the second one called Too Fast, Too Furious?
You are correct.
Fucking right. I knew it.
3 is the one. 3 is Tokyo Drift.
3 is Tokyo Drift. Okay. So, I knew it had to have something.
So I don't know what do you want to do. Do you want to watch 3?
No, but I can commit.
2?
I can commit to 2.
Okay.
And if I watch,
if you change your mind,
for sure commit to 2.
Yeah, if you change your mind, you have to let me know so I can catch up, right?
Okay.
Catch up.
You sure you don't have how have you not just got Fast and the Furious memorized like I have?
You have to commit. You have to promise me that you will not give up after 3.
Oh, is 3 that bad? Okay. Well, all right. Unless okay. As long as I got an avenue to fucking bitch like crazy about 3, bad.
Yeah.
All right.
If you think these are shithole movies, you can rant and rave. That's what we do.
I don't need to think that they're shithole movies. Wait, I know that they're. I was gonna say I know they're garbage, but I am clearly on the wrong side of the angle because they've made 9 of these movies. But I might be totally fucking wrong. I might sit down and watch these and be like, these are the best fucking movies I've ever seen. These are a ball.
I need to know if on the Netflix podcast,
but if they're like, so
if they're on there,
have you ever watched?
Fast and Furious is not on Netflix.
No, that's all right.
What we're gonna do?
I'm sure I'll find a way. But if they're anything like, so one movie I fucking hated was Triple X, and then as a joke, I watched Triple X 2, The Return of Xander Cage.
I didn't watch that.
Holy moly, they're bad. But they're bad like a 12-year-old boy wrote the script. They suck. So as long as
Vin Diesel wrote it.
Yeah, right. So as long as Fast and Furious isn't like that, I'll be able to get through them. But if it's like, hey, check out that girl's ass. She's pretty hot. High five, bro. As long as it's not a bunch of that, I'll be all right. I'm sure it's gonna have some of that because I've seen the fucking trailers. As long as it's not all that.
Wasn't like Triple X a lot like Johnny Bravo?
Effectively, yeah. Just I dare you to watch The Return of Xander Cage. It's laughably bad.
I was. So many people loved Triple X when it came out, especially at my age. I know I'm like 5 years younger than you or something.
Something like that.
I don't know what like it was out probably when I was working at the movie theater, and just so many people loved movie and watched it multiple times, and I came out, I'm like, it's okay, but it's like, it's not great.
It's vapid. Like, oh, the second one, it's so, yeah, the only word that comes to mind is vapid. Like, it's
All right.
so, there's no thinking going on.
So Fast and Furious 1 and 2, we're going to do it next week just for you.
Katla. And I should have
and Katla, yeah,
air
Katla
conditioning. I hope I have air conditioning.
Yeah, so that you don't like really piss off those Reddit people at the Kingston
Reddit.
I
don't know. At least I don't know if I piss them off or not.
You should read the post.
Hi. What is reading the post gonna? It's not gonna change my opinion. It's gonna make me hate those people more and hope they die of fucking cancer.
Oh, okay. So anyway, watch our show. But tell your friends, get them really, like, I wore a blue shirt today, so that should get lots of people's attention. How did you like the thumbnail?
Pants on.
How did you like
see anything below
the Katla thumbnail last week?
It was good. Oh shit! My youngest kid asked me. Do you have a shirt like that? And I'm like, no, that's an animation that he put on.
I did it just to like have fun with it, because you know what I'm talking about.
But yeah, he was like, you don't have that shirt? I'm like, no, you should get one. You should make merchandise.
Now we should, because of your kid, because the one person that watches our show.
And then people will see it, but they're going, my young man, what is that show? Oh my goodness, I'll begin watching it.
The problem that if we made a shirt with that microphone on, it would look kind of cool, but then people would be like, what the fuck? Like, what is that?
But then we could be, you know what though? Then we'd be those guys that are walking around wearing our own merchandise. Like when you see Metallica wearing Metallica shirts.
The only people.
Yeah, I'd want to be that guy.
I would do it.
I'd do it, but then I'd say it's this guy's podcast. I'd point to you. I'm gonna get to his podcast.
We have to get the local t-shirt maker. What's his name? Acid Rabbit. He's a local t-shirt maker. I'm just find him on the Instagram and the Twitter. Acid Rabbit. He's a local t-shirt maker. He makes a lot of tie-dye and ripped shirts and ripped clothing. But made stylistically and kind of like grungy.
So we got to find him to make a shirt for us.
Yeah, if he sees this ever, because I mentioned him, feel free to reach out to us if you want to give us 2 free t-shirts.
So when you put it on Twitter, do #AcidRabbit.
Acid Rabbit. Yeah, it's actually written with a 4, Acid Rabbit, like instead of an A, because a 4 kind of looks like an A. #Cancer
Rabbit.
No,
Kingston.
No. I'll put
recycling cancer.
I'll put his link in the description below,
and a link to Cancer CA.
Yeah, prevent.
That's going to be my instead of
cancer awareness. You need to wear the ribbon next week.
You know what? I'll wear the ribbon on one side and then a recycling symbol on the other one. Cancer to all those who recycle.
Thank you everyone for paying attention to us and humoring us. We appreciate every single view.
We do. And we appreciate the shout outs. Even if you're telling me that I'm an asshole who should die, that means that you know who I am.
that would be the ladies in your house.
And the kids.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Everyone.
Everyone
All that walks by.
Everybody.
See ya.
Everybody that walks by. What an asshole. Kill him.